How would you like to save time and money when labeling data? Let me introduce you to active learning, which is a more efficient way for labeling your data. Let's start with a data distribution like this and assume we want to build a classifier to separate the green from the red. It would be time consuming to label every data point, so what we first do is we just start with some random sampling and then build a classifier based on that. And that works okay, but if you take a look, you'll see that we've labeled a number of points that are really far away from the decision boundary. And those are obviously going to be either green or red. Like, why are we spending time labeling them? Instead, with active learning, what we're going to do is try to find what are the data points or examples that are on the decision boundary, and let's try to label those, because that'll help us more quickly be able to identify the decision boundary. And in this example, with an active learning approach, we can get a 90% accuracy with labeling the same amount of data. And to find examples on that decision boundary, we often use a classifier, and we're going to see what are the data samples that have the highest uncertainty because they're likely to be near the decision boundary. Here's an example of using active learning, and you'll see that the data that was labeled randomly learns much slower than using the active learning. This is a great example of why you'd want to use active learning. But often in real-world examples, that decision boundary becomes so complex that by trying to identify and focus it, you end up actually taking more time using an active learning approach than if you just use random sampling.